And Jackie Boyle is one of our leaders out in Australia in Valencia. She's also the international marketing manager for the creator of Emulin, Dr. Joseph Aram. She has an amazing knowledge on this product, but she also has an amazing story. I asked her to come on just to introduce herself, to talk a little bit about Emulin.
And it was through this amazing product, Emulin, that I had a pharmacist who knocked on my door. I've had sickness from birth, so operated on at 2 hours old, and I was in hospital for 18 months, adopted at 18 months old, and then I've just had a series of surgeries, I think 28 major surgeries and over 350 day surgeries. I have 4 scheduled day surgeries every year, every 3 months, to do with my bladder. And this is where it becomes quite interesting with this product, because at the age of 50, I'm 55 now, I was scheduled and diagnosed to be in a wheelchair. Life was pretty grim. I didn't have a whole lot of hope, and I honestly really didn't want to be here. Between having a chronic bladder problem from birth, having a bowel issue as well, through to I ended up having 3 spinal surgeries. So I have 2 cages, and I've had that immobilized as well. I have fibromyalgia, sensory peripheral neuropathy. In my darkest of days, because I had a car accident, and that was the cause of having to have the 3rd spinal surgery. And it also derailed what was happening with the management of my bladder. I ended up with a device in for my bladder internally, like a Bluetooth device, to be able to try and manage the stimulus for that. I wasn't able to work anymore. We had to sell our business. So Emulin came into our door, and I was full of anxiety, full of depression. I had gone down the suicide path. I'm not proud of it, but I want you to know that the power of this product. Waking up in hospital the next day and looking at my 2 children was not one of my most proudest moments, but I was sick of living and not having any hope. So I started trying this product, and within the first week, 2 weeks, the first thing I noticed was I could actually think. That brain fog that was there started to lift, and I could start to actually time manage. Like I could actually put a task in front of me and actually achieve it. And it was through Dr. Ahrens, who worked with me very closely, and that's how the friendship developed through there, that he helped me through this. So when I started taking Emulin, and I understood the power of the Emulin with these 3 active ingredients, that it was the world's first carbohydrate manager, I have a very good understanding. My background is as a beautician. I went into the sports world. We, as I said, owned our own fitness center, rehab center. I was in the ambulance for a while, and then I did my pathology degree. So it's always been searching for health and wellness. And why have I switched? Is because my health has dictated what I have done. But what I did recognize with Emulin was the ability to be able to manage carbohydrates in 7 key points throughout the body. That really intrigued me, and the fact that it could control sugars became a really big interesting factor for me. So I did a lot more research in that, took it to my doctors. I lost my family, I lost my friends. I couldn't go to the supermarket because my bladder, I would be all of a sudden standing in a puddle of urine. This is how bad things were. It was horrific, not to mention the pain. I had, my upper body was like I was in a freezer box with a neuropathy, and my lower body was like it was in a sauna, all at the same time. It was nearly just driving me insane within my head, just didn't know what to do with itself. Things started to change, and I could start to feel the difference, that the symptoms weren't as severe. By the 12-month period, I was a different person. But the interesting factor is that my leading urologist wrote a letter. He met Dr. Ahrens when I had him come out here 2 years ago, and he could tell Dr. Ahrens what he could see on the inside. By 9 months, every 3 months I'm in under day surgery, he said, "What are you doing differently?" He said, "Because you were always full of ulcerated ulcers." And he said, "We're putting Botox into your bladder." And he said, "And you're always full of, bleeding pussy ulcers internally." And he said, "They're all gone." And so, by the time Dr. Ahrens came along and visited this leading urologist, Dr. William Lynch, I sat and cried. What's changed? It's just been Emulin.